Stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the podcast style that you're used to. Welcome to Talking Comics, where we're bagged, boarded, and pre-recorded. Welcome! You know, when we go into these things, Sean never knows what I'm going to do. I hope that, came out clear. I wasn't speaking too fast. Was I clear?
Oh, loud and clear.
And the way I'm going to ruin the podcast style that you're used to is because I don't have any reviews. I was supposed to get the Witch Doctor read and done, but I've been crazy busy and just trying to get any little moment of just like zone out time on Netflix lately.
It's that time of year. Spending too much time in the graveyard. Blah, blah.
Work has been crazy for me lately, especially these past 2 months, because I think it's 3 or 4 times now Fred Meyer's gas station has been down.
Yeah.
So I think it was this last Sunday, their gas pumps went down. That's my 9-hour shift instead of my 7-hour shift, which I know some of you guys out there listening, 9 hour, that's pussy shit. I know.
First world problem.
But when you switch from your 7-hour to a 9-hour and you have to start earlier, I start at the time I'd normally get up for my closing shift. I start at 2.
All I know is I came by that Sunday and I wanted to maybe have a smoke, chit chat a little bit.
I was busy.
These people are cutting into my Ryan time.
And not only was I busy, but the Sauvies Island pumpkin patch and corn maze, I heard, was crazy busy.
Yeah.
That's because this year they got a advertisement spot on Charlie FM, one of the most popular radio stations, because they play a little of everything, and they got an advertising spot. So yeah, there was traffic backed up from the Sauvies Island Bridge to Linton.
Wow.
That little town,
where the
after.
7-Eleven is.
Yeah, where the 7-Eleven is.
Go get my 7-Eleven pizza.
Hey, pizza buddy. So yeah, I've just been trying to relax, and I've also been trying to think about the future of Nest Productions, equipment that we might need for future projects. We're trying to get a video hooked up for the Suck My Deck podcast.
Oh yeah, those guys are coming through, man.
Because they want to be able to play a game of Magic while they do their podcast and talk about the cards and whatnot and their decks. So that way you can actually see what they're doing on the table as they're playing.
Yeah, that would be a world of difference.
And for years now, ever since we started this, one of the things I've really wanted to do was little skits. What's the word? Skits? Skits.
Easy for you to say.
Skits. That's what I wanted to say. I've been wanting to do skits, and especially one of Sean's old stories. I want to do a dramatic reenactment of.
Do you want to save it for that, or you want me to tell that story?
Well, I think we'll save
save
it.
that one.
So, and
God, I forget about that all the time.
last Halloween, it was a really big hit on our Facebook page. The spoons.
Oh, I know, right? The most obscure thing ever, and I'm like, wow, you guys really know that?
Yeah. So I'm trying to plan out stuff that we can do in the future, because I don't want us to become too stagnant.
Oh, we won't.
I mean, all we do is these podcasts, and there's a lot more I feel like I want to do with that. And more content equals more views, and more views eventually leads to us making money. And I know we would like that.
I'm not in it for the money. I'm
Yeah,
telling you right now. You get the video recorder, pants are coming off.
Well, it's the thing that excites me most about actually making money off of this is that I can turn that money around and invest it straight back into our product, which is these podcasts and possibly videos. And because I want to create the best content I possibly can, and get as many people to watch it and as many people to enjoy it. So I've been like slacking off on my reading and like just like racking my brain all Winnie the Pooh style. Just sit on the edge of my bed. Think. Think. So, anyways, that's what I've been up to lately. We have some Halloween stuff to talk about today.
It's the season. It's a wonderful time of year.
Sean, the other day, was hitting me with some statistics
Oh, yeah.
that we thought we'd like to share with you today.
All right. We got this. First of all, the lore of tampered candy.
Yeah.
Did you ever experience any of that? Did you ever find any of your candy trick-or-treating, like razor blades and apples or anything like that?
No, I never.
hear all the
I never
stories?
ate the apples.
Right. But what I'm saying is, though, it's
Yeah,
like,
I've heard the urban legend all my life, and I've never had an experience.
never.
Of it.
I've heard of 2 stories in the entire existence of my persons.
And he's been around quite a while.
Both were in the 70s.
How's the hip?
Ironically. Oh my god, my hip kills me. That's a whole nother horror story.
That's a. I'm gonna bend Sean over in a Space Monkeys and really give it to him on that one.
Yeah.
Well, not too hard. I don't want it to hurt
might-
anymore.
Realign it or something.
You're old. Continue.
There was an instant I heard, and this was legit too, where a kid had his candy was laced with heroin, and he ate it.
What?
The punchline to that story: the kid got into his dad's stash and ate it. So what the dad did to cover his own tracks after the kid died was sprinkle it over his candy.
Wow.
Didn't obviously work because he got caught.
Yeah,
but...
we're telling the story now.
Yeah. The other one was kid goes out, pillowcase, trick-or-treating.
Oh, pillow. If you're not trick or treating with a pillowcase, you're not trick or treating right.
Exactly. Thank you, good sir. His mom happened to be a seamstress.
Mm-hmm.
One of the you ever see those old cotton pins for seamstress when they put those straight pins in like that? So one of the straight pins, I guess, got mixed there,
stuck.
and he swallowed that.
Ooh.
But so both in house. I mean, it's not nobody's tampering with candy,
The second one makes me cringe a little.
right?
Like,
Right?
This one time when I was a kid, my mom and I were going to a friend of hers house or something, and I was like asleep in the car, just out of it. It was late. I was probably like 7 or 8 or something like that. I was pretty young.
Yeah.
And I was just sleeping there, and someone like sideswiped our car while we were parked,
Jesus.
and the glass of the window on the passenger side that I was sleeping in broke
Yeah.
and like fell all over me, and I swallowed a piece of glass.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like freaking out. I was like, I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die.
It's gonna rip up my insides and I'm gonna die. I went to the doctors. They're like, nah, he'll just pass it. It'll be all right. It's tiny.
I did the same thing one time playing quarters with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I got so hammered I swallowed 50 cents. And then I was like freaking out, like, I'm going to pull a Jimi Hendrix. I'm going to puke and it's going to be lodged in my throat. I'm going to die in my sleep, blah, blah, blah. No, I just passed it. Interesting side note to that story. My brother was pissing me off at the time, so I used his toothbrush to break it up and get the 50 cents out. Put the toothbrush gently back in the holder.
You know, the weird thing is only 35 cents came out.
Like the ice cream man. I make change. Yeah, but I started looking up these stories because like hospitals are offering free x-rays to go in and they x-ray your candy.
Nothing
to make sure.
You know what really makes a Snickers great? Radiation.
Right? No wonder fucking medical bill or the costs are going up. What are you going to see if you x-ray candy? Certainly not heroin. Maybe a hat pin, but what are they doing? You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, like, I get it. I understand from a parental perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't fully understand it. I don't have any kids. But like objectively I understand, but from a like taxpayer standpoint, I'm like, that seems unnecessary. I don't know how much it costs to run an X-ray, but I'm imagining it's not cheap.
Now, see, on the other hand, I do have kids and grandkids, and if you think about breakdown trick or treating, it's a very odd ritual.
Yeah.
I'm like, go on out. I'm not worried about anybody tampering your candy, but go to strangers' houses, knock on their door. Hope you don't get abducted. Get some stuff. Get the hell out of my sight for a few hours. Which is a funny story. When I was doing that trick or treating,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've told you stories about my grandma before.
Yeah.
And off mic, I've told you stories about my mom.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma, like we were there, and I had to be home by 7.
Yeah.
We go trick or treating, so roughly 4 to 7. You know, it starts getting. That's when the times start changing and everything. And I was young, you know, didn't know at the time. But this is me telling the story, but in hindsight, looking back on those stories.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma would go and she didn't mean anything by it. She wasn't being mean or anything like that. She bought juicy fruit gum with the 10 sticks.
Yeah.
And then when kids would knock on the door, she'd give them a stick. She'd give them a stick. That's it. And she thought she was doing good. And I'm like, all right, Granny. You know,
Grandma, this is why I'm cleaning eggs off the house every year. Although the free toilet paper is kind of nice.
Yeah, it is too. Those butt notes come in handy no matter where they come from.
I got some change I need to clean.
There's the other 15 cents. So I'd go out trick or treat, and I was always a good boy. I got home 7 o'clock, and then of course the scare. My mom would start going through the candy.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm realizing now as an adult, which I didn't at the time, I had to be home at 7 because that's when the real trick or treating would like hit full bore.
Yeah.
You get the rush, as they'd say.
Yeah.
She's divvying up the candy, and I'm thinking, okay, oh my God, there really is bad candy in my bag. She's re-giving it out to the kids that knock on the door. She's taking from me and giving it to them.
I'm just like imagining you like
What the hell, man?
getting home and you're like seeing, oh man, there's bad candy. I recognize that Snickers. I got that from Mrs. Jenkins down the street. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, you gotta save money somehow.
Penny pinching, that's fine.
We're
I
glad-
didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, now that kids and everything, 2 sticks of juicy fruit.
Ooh. Man, Sean's doing well for himself.
I'm liquid like that. All right, sir. Give me some of your favorite memories. Costumes.
Favorite
Like that costume that you just couldn't wait to show off as a kid or whatever. Like, oh yeah, this is so cool.
This is
Or as an adult, whatever.
unfortunately I haven't really had any adult Halloween shenanigans. I usually work on Halloween, so it's really unfortunate. I'm 24. I should be out like having a real fun time.
That's what I'm saying. What's wrong with
Halloween, right?
Call me old. Look at you.
But I really don't have any like outstanding costumes.
You never like had parties and stuff? You go to a party, you just dress up?
I once in high school went to a little one of my friends' Halloween parties. It wasn't like a party. It was like a party that you would go to in middle school where everything was like normal and for kids.
Fair enough.
But that was fun. I just kind of like threw on a Jason hockey mask that I got at like Fred Meyer's or something, and put on a flannel, much like I'm wearing today, except I think it was red. And
got arrested.
and got one of those cheapo fake knives. And I won scariest costume at the party.
Did you really?
Yeah. I was the only one that wore a scary costume.
Oh, everybody else was...
The girl, however, that was the more or less host of the party, this cute little... Like, I think she was part Asian. I got a little bit of that yellow fever.
Asian persuasion.
I had a huge crush on, and she dressed as Robin. Ooh. A hot female Robin. I was like, and I'm just here dressed as Jason. What the?
Not Jason Todd either.
And she had a boyfriend, and I was like, he didn't even dress up. What the hell?
Yeah. You're ruining it in so many different ways. No, we always had fun dressing up. I loved Halloween, man. Halloween is just...
When I was really young, though, every year I wanted to be a ninja. So, like, every year we'd get one of those, like, Mortal Kombat ninja costumes from a Halloween store.
Yeah.
So I'd, like, went as, blue, yellow, red.
Like the spirit store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for 3-4 years in a row.
Nothing wrong with that.
That was at the time when, like, my dad, my stepmom, they were still together, and, like, things were good. Like, money was coming in, people were working.
Yeah.
So I was able to get a new costume. It was the same costume, just new in a different color every year for like 3 years. I really liked being a ninja. I don't know.
Ninjas are cool, man. What more can you say?
My last like real thing I did for Halloween was back in high school. I think it was like my junior or senior year. We were like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go trick-or-treating. So me, Josh, and some of our other friends all dressed up, and I went as a Dr. Vampire. I was Dr. Acula. Anyone that watches Scrubs out there, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Is that a Scrubs reference?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't.
Throughout Scrubs, JD was writing a screenplay called Dr. Acula about a vampire doctor.
That's awesome.
And in one part, he says, and at the end of the movie, we're going to the name Dr. Acula will come up on screen. We'll take that period out, toss it, and then squish it together, and it says Dracula.
Dun dun dun.
So I
didn't see that coming, did you?
Grant's mom was a nurse, I think she's a nurse. So I got some scrubs and a pair of fake vampire teeth, and I was Dr. Acula.
Dr. Acula, that's awesome. And when is let's see, the one I think I've told you this one before. My buddy was throwing a Halloween party. I did the Rob Zombie, Michael Myers, and my wife dressed up as like some succubus vampire ghoul conglomeration, whatever. And he and his new girlfriend, now wife, because they're still together to this day, but the first time I had never met her.
Yeah.
They're like, well, yeah, come to the party, definitely. We'll do that. And the whole time I was in costume. Never said a word to anybody except for him. Yeah. I committed.
Right
yeah.
Right
and my wife. And like, you're kind of freaking people out here at the party, man. You don't say anything.
Like, that's the point, right?
And then there was a few weeks later where I came back and come over there and I talked to my buddy and everything. They're like, oh, hi, this is I go, hey, how you doing? And she gives me this odd look. She goes, have we met? I go, yeah, we met at the Halloween party. She goes, holy shit, that was you? She goes, I was telling my friend, I was telling such and such, get rid of this guy.
He's creeping me out.
Yeah. Oh, yep, not a word. And then I think a couple years before that, I did my buddy and his brother. They were actually doing contests and everything. And they were like, we had like they throw like keggers, and it was a huge Halloween bash. And they dressed up as the Menendez brothers to the point where they they went to like a Kmart and they bought the frames, the big 8x11, 8x10 frames with the stock photos in there of just people like, the models that come with the frame.
Yeah.
And it was like an older woman and an older man. They're like, love you, mom, love you, dad. And they had like, well, the Menendez brothers, they killed their parents. And they're walking, commitment, they're walking around with the frames and like the fake shotguns.
Nice.
Everything. They need to say they won. I had dressed up as a, let's see, I had boxer shorts, but I cut thermals because it was cold.
Yeah.
But to boxer short length.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd cut the top part of the thermal into like a wife beater. Mm-hmm. And then I put my trench coat on.
Yeah.
And I had this huge button. And it said, ask me about candy. And then I was going as like a child abductor, a pedophile.
Yeah.
where in my trench coat I would have like purposely leave the vibrator on in my pocket, so every time I'd walk by, and in the other pocket I'd have like my smokes and extra batteries just in case. Yeah, I'm just walking around going and ask me about candy.
One of my old coworkers, she went to this Halloween party. I think it was at like the fairgrounds in St. Helens. Like,
Oh yeah,
they used to have like a big Halloween thing there. And one year, the guy that won the costume contest he went as a what are those? He went as a mammogram.
I love it. I love it.
And chicks were actually like putting their chest in his mammogram, and he could close it down on them and stuff.
Oh, that's genius! Fuck, why didn't I think of that?
It's like I'm like, the only way that could have been any better is if he went as a breathalyzer.
Oh my god, that's fucking awesome. That is great.
This year I'll probably, because for Halloween you usually dress up as something you're not, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be going as someone who loves his job.
Big smile.
Welcome to Roadrunner, home of the Roadrunner. Can I take your order?
Carve that Joker-esque grin in your face and everything. You're going to let people smoke while you're over there.
I'm happy.
Let's not go that far.
I'm alive inside.
Oh my god. So
I make that joke every year that I know I'm going to be working on Halloween.
what? It's on a Tuesday this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just think next year you'll be off.
Assuming my schedule doesn't change.
I know, right? Right at, like September, then like switch the schedule.
I thought about asking for it off, but I decided unless I can find plans before my new schedule comes out, I'm not going to ask for it off.
Yeah.
It's like, unless I know I'm going to go out and do something fun and enjoyable, why ask for it off if it's just going to end up sitting at home playing video games? I mean, I would enjoy that more than working.
You're supposed to go as something that you're not. You said it yourself. Do you know,
I also usually go as someone that's freezing his ass off.
Yeah, there's that.
Because Oregon, Halloween is chilly.
It doesn't seem to stray, especially the females going as, which I don't know. We've talked about this before, but like, how I am about cosplay and all that. Like slutty this and slutty that. I'm wearing next to nothing, which is fine. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like, is that the go-to for every time?
Yeah, every time. I feel like they should mix it up.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we're complaining, ladies. You do you.
Exactly.
Then hopefully you do me.
Everybody's screaming like, "Shut up! We want those slutty costumes." But yeah, I don't know.
If only they could find some way to make it both slutty and scary.
Yeah.
She's like almost completely naked, but her head's cut off.
Carries it under her arm, walking around. That's for real. Do you know
I think
how
I just
much?
saw a ghost.
I was going to ask you this too. I just read now to date, 2017,
Mm-hmm.
how much America spends, whether costumes, candy, so on and so forth, for Halloween.
I can only imagine it's a lot. Because, like, it seems to me like Halloween becomes a bigger event every year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, more, people are hitting the age where they can start trick-or-treating. More adults are
I'm
hitting 21, where they can go
there.
dress up and go out to the bars. And they're like, they want to have the best costume at the bar, so they spend the most money on the costume. So I can only imagine.
Me and my boy are like the opposite. Go to the bar, and then we hit that age and like trick or treating. $5.8 billion with a B,
Jesus.
$billion dollars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw that number. I'm just like, my jaw dropped. That is crazy.
We got to start selling Halloween costumes.
All right. Well, I remember having, as a kid, those Ben Cooper ones. Those things, they're making a comeback, apparently, and a few of those... Remember Ben Cooper ones, the cheesy ones, the plastic ones that just had like the picture of them, and then you had the mask with the little rubber band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those things go for like thousands of dollars now, like
Jeez.
an original Ben Cooper, and then they're supposedly they're gonna reboot them.
All right. While we're on this topic of Halloween costumes, you know what's not a fucking Halloween costume? A onesie.
Really?
People are going out buying like Deadpool onesies and stuff like that.
Okay.
And calling it a Halloween costume. It's not a costume. They're pajamas.
Right,
Unless you're going as someone who is about to go to sleep, wear a real fucking costume. I hate that so much. That is the laziest bullshit for Halloween.
A onesie?
That's basically what they are.
Does it have the butt flap in the back?
I don't know.
I like to be warm when I poop, so I'm.
I try and not stare because I don't want them to take the brunt of my fury. I'm just like, ugh, look away. I'm gonna start turning green.
I have not seen that yet. I'll keep an eye out. Ryan's got a peeve, folks. A pet peeve.
I got tons of pet peeves.
I know you do. All right.
I got 99 pet peeves and they're all bitches.
They're all in onesies.
Anywho.
All right. You got some books?
Yes, I have.
This is Talking Comics, people.
Yes, I have we both have some suggestions for
Yes.
some light comic book holiday reading.
Halloween.
We're not talking about that Christmas holiday reading. No, sirree.
Nope.
We're talking about Halloween. So we have some suggestions for books that might be fun for you to read this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a couple of anime suggestions for gory, horrific Halloween anime. But I'm going to start off with my books. All right. I'm going to get it out of the way right now. Constantine.
Yay.
Anything 1980s, 1990s Constantine, when it was gritty, when it was gory, when it was spooky.
Smoky.
It's still smoky.
It's still smoky.
I'm surprised buying a Constantine comic doesn't come with a pack of cigarettes.
The Marlboro Miles.
The Silks.
Yeah.
That's what Constantine smokes. Silk.
Silk Miles.
Then I have crap. What was it? American Vampire.
Oh yeah.
It's not very scary, but it's very gory, and it's all centered around vampires and whatnot. It's a Scott Snyder book, and he's not only Scott Snyder, but with help from Stephen King. Stephen King co-wrote American Vampire, or his ghostwriters co-wrote American Vampire. I'm not sure.
Or his son, or whoever.
Speaking of which, that leads me into my third book, Lock and Key.
Ooh, that almost. You know what? That almost made my list.
I have not read that one yet, but I've heard great things. I've heard it's very suspenseful, very thrilling. And I've heard nothing but good things from it.
Oh, shit. You never read Lock and Key?
No.
Oh, fuck. I've had it in the store a couple times.
Yeah, it's one of those ones I keep missing.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's a good one.
What was the other one that I'm just drawing from memory. I don't actually have any like notes with me today. I just kind of like been thinking about it without actually writing it down, because I get most of my my ideas while I'm pumping gas at work. I'm just like, all right, what can I do this week?
Slit that guy's throat, burn this down. Put a Molotov cocktail in that car. 'Tis the season.
What was the other one that I had? I had another one, I think. Gosh.
It was the anime thing.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna save that for a little later.
Oh, okay.
What was the other book? I can't remember. It might come back to me later. So yeah, those are so any 1980s, 1990s Constantine. You can get you can put in orders for they're big old mothers of a book, man.
Omnibus.
It's almost an omnibus. They consider it a trade paperback, I think.
One of the big thick ones.
But yeah, it's one of the big thick ones. And yeah, so anything like Constantine, anything American Vampire, and Lock and Key.
Yes.
Those three I definitely recommend for this season. All right.
Nice. Yes, very good. Yeah,
What do
like
you
I
got?
said, Lock and Key almost made my list, so I'm glad you said that. I omitted that one. I have the, let's see. For mine, I'm going to start out with the Walking Dead, of course, because as of this
Nice.
recording,
Nice.
it'll be back on this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
That's Robert Kirk, like the 10th anniversary one, which extra stuff. I mean, if you've been a Walking Dead reader or fan of whether the show or the comic is all black and white.
Yeah.
This one is actually in color,
Oh, nice.
and it puts in little snippets of like first appearances or last appearances.
Yeah.
Or just certain events that happen. As among you can put it together and make a big poster.
Mm-hmm.
Like so I've got it right here where you can see
Oh, nice.
like Rick losing the hand, Dale with the cannibals trying to even, and he was already bit. Carl losing the eye, the death of Abraham, Tyrese, of course, the introduction of Negan, so on and so forth.
Nice.
It's pretty fun. And the funny thing about this book is when Robert Kirkman first did it, people said it wouldn't last 6 issues. So if you know Robert Kirkman's sense of humor, he would go back and say, you know what? Let's say I'll take that bet, and by the time we get to issue 75, I'll just do like an alien invasion and ruin the whole book, because like you guys said, it won't last 6 issues. This story has no legs to run on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just do that. Cut the legs off if I get any by that point, and aliens will just ruin the whole thing. A lot of people, much like myself, were there from day one.
Yeah.
Held him to that.
Like, all right, where's my aliens?
Right now, as of this recording, they're on issue 175, and they're going into their 8th season of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you throw a rock, you're going to hit a Walking Dead fan. But he actually did a aliens thing.
Like a one-off?
Yeah, like a one-off. So they tweaked the thing where all the characters that have been killed have actually come back from outer space. And this is the governor, who has an eye patch. And if you lift it up, he has a cyborg laser eye.
Wow.
He's killing Michonne with his big clamp claw.
Mm-hmm.
That's Lori. That's Rick's wife who had died. And they're on that hoverboard thing with all the alien invaders. Look at Rick. Look like Wally West. Look what it says on the bottom. Not to be continued.
Wow.
Robert Kirkman does have definitely a
Right
sense
on.
of humor. Yeah, it's fun there. And let's see. So the next one I got would be from Chaos Comics, which is no longer around. And it is based off a WWF wrestler, The Undertaker.
I think
Okay.
everyone in the world's pretty much familiar with who he is.
Yes, but this comic was pretty brutal, gruesome, scary. They portray The Undertaker as the ruler of Stygian. Stygian is a place where the worst and deadliest of souls are kept.
All right.
And he is the ruler / warden of that. So he's the gatekeeper
Yeah.
of all that.
He's the Undertaker.
He's the Undertaker. He undertakes those things. The protagonist is a character called Augustus the Embalmer. And what it is, aside from all that, there are 3 books and they're called the Death Scribes.
Hmm.
And what they do is give you here you go, the history of the future. Yeah.
The
And
history of the future.
he who reads certain passages from those, if they possess all three books and they read certain passages, they can call down Armageddon and recreate the entire universe in their image.
Huh.
Now, without spoiling anything, I mean, I just set that up right there. So, yeah. And it's the Embalmer versus the Undertaker. So, it's a comic book, but it sounds like another wrestling match.
Yeah.
But it is brutal.
Interesting.
Yeah. And of course, they incorporate like other characters, like Mankind comes in, Paul Bearer, Kane.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, he shows up here at the end of that. It's a fun book, and it's scary, and it's very gruesome and graphic.
Nice.
Yeah. Speaking of graphic, I also have which I have in the store, Halloween One Good Scare.
All right.
This was
Oh yeah. I've seen that in the
Stephen
store.
Hutchinson. This book here, it's the officially licensed, commissioned comic when they did their 25th anniversary of Terror.
Mm-hmm.
When Halloween, because John Carpenter filmed it in Pasadena, California.
Yeah.
And the Myers house is still there, and it's like some sort of I want to say like a farmer, like an insurance place. But they did like tours and stuff. It was kind of cute, that everybody would cosplay, and jump out, and they'd reenact scenes as you're on a school bus going down. You go in, and like they take tours and everything, and they released this book. If you were there, which I was, there's only 3,000 copies made, and that's it. Once they're going, I mean, people listening, everybody at home, go on Amazon. Look how much it costs. Because once they're gone, they're gone. They're not making any more. This is it. And it consists of a... See, the original Halloween, if you saw the movie, it was Dr. Sam Loomis, who was basically... Michael Myers was the Moby Dick, and I always looked at Sam Loomis as like the Ahab.
Yeah.
Chasing the whale. Nobody believed him, and blah, 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 going on and on. This is his son, and his name is David Loomis, who wanted no part of this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
But he was, curious about his dad's death.
Yeah.
But didn't believe in this Michael Myers stuff and what he went through, and he comes across little notes and postscripts and diaries that his father kept.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, nah, I don't have none of that. Until there's this girl named Lindsay Wallace, who is convinced that the boogeyman is after her. And of course, yes, it's Michael Myers. Oh. So yeah, that's definitely a good book, and I do have that in the shop.
Nice.
And I do have two more books.
All right.
One is this is a little offbeat. There is a guy. It's not in it's in production, but you can't do anything because he's working around certain things because it involves the president, our president right now, Mr. Donald Trump.
All right.
It's a ghost haunting President Trump in the White House.
Huh.
The guy who's making this book, dare I say it's not his real name, Snake Jagger. So he's using a pen name.
Yeah.
Very poor one, but did a little more digging. His father, get this. So the haunting of the president.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 80s, when Donald Trump had, what was it, Taj Mahal Casino in Atlantic City, he booked Frank Sinatra to play some shows there.
Yeah.
And they worked out an agreement, blah, blah, blah. They were going to pay some money. Well, Frank Sinatra had a handler.
Uh-huh.
His name was George Jacobs.
Yeah.
His valet, pretty much. He handled all his business, brokered the deals.
Mm-hmm.
The Snake Jagger is Mr. Jacobs' son.
Huh.
George Jacobs died in a horrible, horrible accident.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump used that as an excuse to cut the pay down.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what Mr. Frank Sinatra said? Go fuck yourself. And he ended up taking those dates and doing it in like some place in Chicago and then back to Vegas.
Wow.
So he's taken that because there's a book called Mr. S. My Life with Frank that George Jacobs wrote, and it was basically just all the stories, all the time hanging out with Frank Sinatra, and I thought that was great. And then his son, after his passing, is going to do like a little comic, but he can't, it's like, you're threatening the president type thing.
Yeah.
So he's working out the kinks there. That book is not out, but he's got a story. I can't wait. I hope it does come out because I definitely want to see that one.
Right on.
The last one that I have for you should have been on our last podcast, the controversial covers.
Oh.
Because this one, I don't even know if you could show this. I'll show you, and I'll let you decide. This could be the most gruesome, kind of horrible. I don't know if we can do this on Tongue Comics. I'm just saying. It's called What If No One Watches the Watcher?
All right.
You know the Watcher, right?
Yeah.
I mean, folks, if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2, that little Stan Lee cameo, those are the Watchers.
Mm-hmm.
But this cover, I wish I would have found this sooner because I would have put that on our controversial cover.
Yeah.
And it's basically, the synopsis, it's horrifying for this book. It's like, what if Thanos changed Galactus into a human that coincidentally looks like Elvis Presley? What if the Punisher was a hall monitor? What if Storm was an air traffic controller? And what if, drumroll please, Dr. Doom was a pediatrician? But this cover could be the most hideous thing. It'd be perfect for Halloween.
Is it a picture of your face? Oh, Lord.
Oh, Mr. President.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
That's something.
There's that. That was a big setup for nothing. I thought that was funny. I just want to throw that in at the end.
That's scary, all right.
And that's all I got for now.
And in the middle of Sean's thing, I remembered my other one.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd do that.
Archie Afterlife.
Yes.
It's not one I've actually gotten the pleasure of reading, but I'm familiar with it. And basically, the people of Riverdale are turning into zombies. That's all you need to know.
It's wonderful.
Oh, jeez.
And for the we'll have the original covers and the variant covers.
Yes.
In the shop. You know how I am with my Archie and my Riverdale.
I think I'm gonna give off my quick list of animes, and you have anything else you wanted to cover today?
I'm good.
Nope.
It's all you, buddy.
All right, so I'll list off those, and we can
Close the coffin on this one.
Yeah.
Blah.
bury this bad boy. All right, so Sean's not so much into anime.
I'm not.
I am very much into anime. I think it's mostly a product of our times.
There's a lot of stuff I'm not really... Just because I'm not into it.
The anime that Sean's more into is like Thundercats, old Thundercats.
Voltron.
Right? Voltron. That old-timey stuff.
Never gets old. Only I do,
You know,
apparently.
old anime like Betty Boop, Popeye.
Boop, boop, beep, doo. Popeye. I do like Popeye.
He's just not a big fan of the art style. Overall, I think that's is your biggest.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's
don't
his
get me
biggest
wrong,
gripe
it's just-
about it is the
I
art
don't-
style.
No, I gripe more about cosplaying than I do about anime. But
So I have a couple. It's very short of animes that are kind of on the spooky side, and like vampires and monsters and stuff like that.
yeah.
I mean, I don't really watch scary horror type stuff in any genre, anime, TV, movies, stuff like that. I'm not really into it. But I do like something a little bit on the thriller side. Thriller.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom.
All right, so number 1, Tokyo Ghoul. I was telling Sean a little about this earlier. It's So anyone that's familiar with the ghoul mythos is like they're these monsters that eat humans. And in this world of Tokyo Ghoul, the ghouls blend into society almost perfectly. And the main protagonist is this normal guy who goes like out on a date or something with this chick who happens to be a serial killing ghoul who kills people and then eats them, like on a whim. And it's been a long time since I've watched this, so I can't really tell you everything verbatim. But it's really cool. I definitely recommend checking it out, especially this time of year, because it's very gory, it's very bloody. This does, suffer from, because the main protagonist is like a high school or a young college student, so a little angsty at times. But you can't really watch a show that doesn't have any, like, angst in it. The next one is, in a similar vein, Hellsing. A lot of you already know what Hellsing, badass vampire, killing other monsters and stuff. Super great. Definitely check it out. What was the? I'm just all over drawing blanks today. I had a third one.
There was one I did enjoy that was in the anime genre, Castlevania.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie. That's a good series.
On Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did enjoy that.
Really bummed me out that it was only like 4 episodes.
Well, yeah.
I'm like, come on, Netflix.
And Vampire Hunter D. Have you ever seen that one? It's an old one.
Vampire Hunter D. Sounds really familiar.
Not to be confused with Vampire Salty D.
Goodness gracious, what's wrong with me today? I am just...
Brain cramping?
Yeah.
It's fine. What are you going to do?
I'm going to end it here. Click.
Blah.
Blah. So yeah, definitely check out Tokyo Ghoul and Hellsing. They're both, especially Hellsing. Hellsing is bloody. Very, very bloody.
Oh, yeah?
It's a real mess.
Is it on Netflix?
It might be. I'm not positive.
Hellsing. All right, I'll check it out.
That one's a little on the older side. It's been out for quite a while.
So am I. So. Like it already.
Anyways, I can't think of any other artists off the top of my head. Like I know I had a third one. I just can't remember it. This is what happened. This is why I'm supposed to write stuff down. Damn it.
Yeah, I surprised him with this podcast. Blah blah.
So yeah, that's about all I got for today. So I'm thinking we might try and tell some scary stories next week.
Let's do it.
I've been thinking I might postpone the upload date for that one to Tuesday. So it actually comes out on Halloween.
Now, when I was talking about that one costume, when I had the trench coat on and I was cutting the thermal into a wife beater, I failed to mention the fact, or did I mention that I purposely squirted mustard stains on there?
You did not mention that.
Around towards the bottom there, like mayonnaise, so I let it dry and crust.
Oh, you were disgusting.
Is that scary enough for you?
That's scary enough for me.
Ask me about free candy.
On that note, if you haven't been driven away by that, please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get updates for all our videos. And I'm scarred for life. So, as always,
have a day, my children.